Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar series. My name is Brigitte Uber, and together with my colleagues Sindiswa Jamba and Kanyisa Nkazonke, we're going to try and answer all your questions to the best of our ability. But first, before we start off with all our questions, I'm just going to give the floor to my colleagues to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit more about what they do.
Hello everyone, my name is Sindiswa Jamba and I'm at the Central Application Office as a Senior Application Officer, and I'm also a Residence Head. I'm very happy to be here and I can't wait to hear all of your questions.
Kanisa?
My name is Kanyisa Nkazonke and I am the Female Placement Officer here at Stellenbosch University. I cannot wait to welcome you guys next year and I hope that we answer all of your questions.
Thank you, colleagues. So we're going to kick off and we're going to start off with our WhatsApp questions, and we're going to start off with our central applications. I'm just going to read off the screen of all the questions that you guys sent. So Cindy, we're going to start off with you. The first question is, what are the key steps in the application process at Stellenbosch and how should applicants structure their course choices?
Okay, so firstly, all applications are online. They are done on the website on martis.com. So you first start off with creating an application profile, and you need to ensure that you complete all of the application steps once you've completed an application profile. And then when it comes to listing your programs, you can list them from 1 to 3. We consider them all at the same time. But obviously, you can only receive one program offer at a time. I'm going to repeat that. You may only receive one program offer at a time, but they will all be considered at the same level.
Thank you. So a very important question is, when do applications open and close, and are there specific dates to apply in grade 11 or while upgrading results?
So our applications are already open. They opened on the 1st of April and they close on the 31st of July. And then when you apply, you have to apply in your matric year using your end of grade 11 results. And then if you are currently upgrading, so assuming you have already completed your matric, you are more than welcome to apply using your final matric results. And then once you receive your upgraded results or your final results, you are more than to send those through to us and we will update them on the application. You can send them to info@sun.ac.za.
Thank you. What are the minimum admission requirements like APS? And does Stellenbosch accept other qualifications like a diploma, NCV level 4 or senior certificate?
So we do not have an APS score, or we do not use APS. We have all of our minimum admission requirements that are on martis.com, but you are still required to meet the selection requirements. So I would advise you to please also check the selection requirements that are also on martis.com. And then unfortunately, we do not consider the NCV. And when it comes to the senior certificates, we only consider senior certificates pre-2008. And then you are more than welcome to also view on martis.com all of our program offerings. We do have a few diplomas that we do offer.
Okay, then our learners would like to know, how long does it take to receive feedback on an application and how will applicants be notified? Will it be via email or the portal?
So we do consider all of our offers, we do consider you throughout the year up until the end of September. And then the second question, we will notify you via email, but also on the portal, we will obviously let you know. You will be able to view your status, but we do send our offers via email. So please ensure that you do put the correct email address on the application form.
It's very important, yes. So what should students do if they face problems when they are trying to upload their documents or if their school isn't listed on the application system?
If you do run into problems when trying to upload your documents or you receive an error message, please send us a screenshot of that error message. You can send it through to info@sun.ac.za We will assist you as much as we can. You also can call through, it's 021-808-9111. And then if your school is not listed, you are more than welcome to select the other option. And then there's a text box where you'll be able to type in your school. But if you do struggle with that and you can't figure it out, you're more than welcome to select any school on the application. We will correct it on our side when we receive your application.
Okay, so next question is, can students apply while upgrading their marks, or if they haven't received these transcripts yet, will the university consider improved results later?
Yes, so it's two questions that you're asking. If you're still upgrading, you have to apply once again using your end of matric results. We will consider you based on those results, and unfortunately if you don't meet the minimum admission requirements, you can send it through to us, and we will update it on the system, and then in January or even in the course of the year, you can send through your upgraded results, but normally it comes out end of December or in Jan, and we will update it on the system. Then with regards to the transcript, I'm assuming that question came up because you are currently at a university and studying something else. So what you can do, you can upload your proof of registration. Please make sure that you do indicate that you are studying at another tertiary institution. And then at the end of the year, once your results are out, you can also send that to us, info@san.ac.za. We will upload it on the system so that we have the most updated results on the system.
Thank you. When are provisional or conditional offers made, and how many offers can you accept out of the programs you've applied for?
I think I did answer this one. You may only be considered for one program at a time. So although we consider all three programs equally, but you can only be considered for one program at a time. And we do consider you throughout the year. So from when you apply, it depends when the selection committees sit, but we do consider your application as of 1st of April up until the end of September when applications close. So it does depend on when the faculty selection committee sits and when they consider your application. We do get this a lot where students from other faculties are considered before other faculties. For example, you find that maybe EMS considers you now in June, and medicine takes a bit longer to consider you. So we consider you throughout the year, but the latest that you can expect to receive a conditional offer is the end of September.
Thank you. Do some faculties like social sciences, health sciences require direct contact or have extra steps during the application process?
No, not that I can think of, especially social sciences and health sciences. It's pretty much straightforward. You apply on martis.com, so there aren't any extra steps that are required from those faculties.
And no additional documentation required?
No additional documentation required. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Does Stellenbosch offer bursaries, and how and when must the application fee be paid?
Application fee can be paid while you're doing your application. Just before you submit, you'll see that there's a payment option, so you can pay online, but you can also do an EFT at a later stage and send us the proof of payment, but normally we do pick it up. But please ensure that you use your app ID as the reference number so that we can pick it up. And what was the other question?
The next one is...
No. Before.
Okay, so does Stellenbosch offer bursaries, and how and when must application fees be paid? So
Okay.
it's the bursary question.
The bursary question.
Yes.
So we do offer bursaries. You can check martis.com, but you can only apply once you have received an offer. So if you look under the fees tab under martis.com, there is information about our bursaries, and we do encourage you to please apply for our bursary so that we do at least have a profile of you, and we can plan ahead and see how many of our students require bursaries. So we encourage you to please apply. If you can't find that information on martis.com, please give us a call, or please also email us. We do have consultants that are ready to advise you and show you exactly where to find the information.
Yeah, if I could also maybe just add that Please remember, it's not just on our Stellenbosch website that you can apply for bursaries, but it's also important to take note when the NSFAS applications open up, and to make sure that you apply for NSFAS as well as for Stellenbosch University bursaries. You can never apply to too many bursaries. So just for our next question, if you are rejected or make a mistake, can you reapply, delete your application, or request reconsideration?
Sure, that's a very interesting question. So you cannot delete your application, but we do allow for program changes up until the closing date. So you can, if you see that actually you no longer want to study medicine, you rather want to study a BSc, you can send through a program change. By the end of July, we will be able to make the change for you, but obviously after that we do not allow any program changes. And unfortunately, if you don't meet the minimum admission requirements and you don't receive an offer, you can ask for reconsideration depending on the faculty and department that you're applying for, only in Jan. We normally send out a link specified for each faculty where you can apply for reconsideration, but obviously it's different. So I would advise you to rather contact us once the matric results are released, and we'll be able to guide you and send you the specific link for reconsideration or advise you on the reconsideration process.
Okay. And then the final question for you regarding our application programs. Are NBT scores considered even if they're not compulsory, and do things like sport or leadership impact my application?
So for Stellenbosch University, admission is based on merit. We do not look at sports or your other achievements. But for law specifically, we do require you to write the NBTs. And I would really advise you to please write at your earliest convenience, so that we can have those results, because they do count towards your application.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you, Peter.
So moving on to student accommodation, we all know that also forms part of applications, and it's something that you mustn't forget to do. So moving on to Sindiswa. Kanisa. Apologies for that. The first question that I'm going to pose to you is, how do students apply for on-campus accommodation, and what are the steps involved?
Students apply for on-campus accommodation on their applicant portal. So I will emphasize that when you are applying for residence placement, it is a joint application, or rather it does form part of your application. You will see when you are on your applicant portal, there are about 10 tabs on your left. Student accommodation would be your 7th one. Where you click on it, it will ask you, do you want to apply for residence? You will click yes. You have an option to choose 3 residences, and provided that you have selected a Tygerberg option as well for academic program, you will have an option to apply for 6 of them.
Thank you. So this just ties on to our first question. When does the accommodation application open and close? And can you apply before receiving an academic offer? Very important question.
All right. So the applications normally, or rather usually, open on the 1st of April and close on the 31st of July. You can apply for residence placement even though you have not received an offer, because the condition in order for you to be considered for residence placement anyways would be that you are considered for either conditionally or final offer.
So our next question, my colleague on my left said that she's a residence head. So I'm going to just ask her to answer this question. It is, can students choose whether they want a single or shared room? And is it possible to pick your own roommate?
Okay, so I'm going to answer this with Kanyisa, my colleague from Student Accommodation. So it depends on which residence you apply to. So some residences are co-ed, meaning that they do have single beds, so you can actually go into a single room. But for some residences, first years may only go into a double room. And then, what was the other question?
So they just want to know, can they also pick their own roommates?
No. You won't be able to pick your own roommates. So what we normally do, you do give us a bit of your profile, like to say what you're interested in, what you're studying, and we do try to pair you with someone with the similar interest. So you are unable to pick your roommate, but your residents will select a roommate for you.
Thank you. Kanisa, maybe you can just give us a little bit more information on the residences that actually do offer single rooms.
Yes, so we do have a variety of residences that we do offer, but we do have 2 residences that are only inclusive of only single rooms, where you will not really be paired with anyone. You'll have your own space, and those are namely Khayaletu and Matanoya.
Yeah, and maybe also just important to mention that please remember these residences are co-ed residences. So it's important, if you do choose these residences on your application, that they are going to have both male and female students in there. But also maybe important to say is that even though you make choices on your application, it does not mean that you are actually going to be placed in those specific residences. I'm sure one of the questions will come out, that what is the criteria, and my colleague Kanisa will then just give you more details on the criteria, the specific criteria needed to be considered for residents. So the next question is, how much does accommodation cost, and can students pay monthly, or are there fixed payment options?
All right, so student accommodation fees vary on either whether you are staying in a single room or a double room. These fees are available on our website, so I would advise you guys go onto our website, which is www.matis.com. They are listed there. And in terms of payment, normally your fees are combined, where they don't separate res fees, academic program fees, so on and so forth. However, you are more than welcome to make arrangement in terms of payment. You can also reach out to our student fees department. Their details are also available on our website as well.
Thank you. Got a pretty long question here, but this links onto the criteria that we mentioned earlier on. So I'll just ask it in 2 parts. Do students need to meet specific academic requirements to qualify for accommodation?
Yes. So they do need to meet academic requirements to qualify to be placed in residence, or rather considered for residence placement. These requirements do, though, vary from year to year based on the fact that it depends on the academic pool of students in which applicants need to receive, as well as the space that we have available in residence.
Yeah. So we get approximately plus minus 18,000 applications per year for residence applications, but we only have space for 2,000. And therefore the criteria is quite strict, and it does differ from year to year. So the second part of the question is, can your spot be lost if your final marks are lower than your grade 12 results? So basically, are the grade 12, if I get an offer for residence and my grade 12 results are lower, will I lose my spot?
All right, so provided that you've received an offer and you've accepted it and you have secured a spot in residence, when your grade 12 results come out and they are lower than the final grade 11 results that you had received, in which allowed you to actually receive an offer, you will not lose your spot, provided that you are admitted to study at Stellenbosch University, or rather have received a final offer and accepted it.
Thank you. What are the specific criteria to be considered for residence placement?
All right, so I would emphasize on the fact that you will need to receive a conditional offer or a final offer to be considered for residence placement. Number 2, you would need to be under the age of 21 years. Right, when it comes to residence placement offers, when it comes to the residence placement process, rather, we look into 3 factors, right, in which we try use, and actually we do use simultaneously, which are the academic performance. We look at your race as well as your socio-economic status.
Thank you. Is there a residence deposit? And what is it? And if I can't pay it, what do I do?
Yes, so provided that you do receive an offer for residence placement, we will attach rather a letter in which we state the residence deposit that is required of you to pay. It will vary, however the amount is usually 5,100 Rand. Provided that you cannot pay this amount, you are more than welcome to draft us an email elaborating as to why you cannot afford, as well as attach supporting documents as to why you cannot afford. We will review your email most definitely, and therefore we will provide alternative options in which you can make sure that you have reserved your spot at Stellenbosch University for residence.
Thank you. So what happens if a student made a mistake on their application or forgot to apply?
All right, so this does usually happen. I do get quite a lot of inquiries based on the fact that they've either cancelled the residence spot or were not able to choose an option, so on and so forth. Provided that, right, it is during the period in which you can still apply for your academic program and your residence, changes can be made. Everything can be fixed. However, you would therefore need to send us an email at info@sun.ac.za or student.com@sun.ac.za, where you explain what is going on. If you can provide a screenshot as well, please do. We are more than welcome to make adjustments where we will update your application with the residence choices that you would like to add. And however, if you had not got it, or rather received a chance to apply, no applications will be considered.
Thank you. Then they want to know, are there dedicated residences or special arrangements for health sciences, MBCHB, or for our Tygerberg students?
So, if you will be taking part, or rather enrolled in a program that includes health science and other programs that are in Tygerberg, you will not allow to reside in any Stellenbosch campus accommodation. There is, however, an exception for those who are doing occupational therapy or speech therapy. They are allowed to stay 1 and or 2 years in their first years of their studies, and thereafter they will convert to Tygerberg. Otherwise, if you're doing a Tygerberg program, you're not allowed to stay at Stellenbosch campus, and if you're doing a Tygerberg program, you're not allowed to stay at if you're doing a Stellenbosch program, you're not allowed to stay at Tygerberg campus as well.
Thank you, Kanisa. So, as we know, there's not enough student accommodation, or let's rather say residence placement for everyone. The learner would like to know, what are the private accommodation options and are they accredited?
Yes, so we do have private accommodation options that are accredited by the institution. It's quite a lot of them. You can check out the list that we do provide on our website, which is martis.com, where we provide you with the list of private accommodations that we've accredited. These lists include the property, the type of property there is, the distance as to how far it is from campus, the rental amount a month, the deposit required, as well as the contact details of either the landlord or the agent. So you're more than welcome to contact them and find out if there's anything available for you, provided that you've not secured a spot in residence.
Thank you. Sandiswa, here's a question for you. What furniture and appliances are provided in residence, and what must students bring themselves?
Thank you, Brigitte. So we do provide a bed, a table, a chair, and a bookshelf. That is the standard things that we do provide in res. So students can bring, it's normally decided amongst your roommates in terms of who will bring the fridge or how you're getting a fridge, because we don't want a lot of fridges obviously in the room. But we normally also send out house letters around November, December, once you have received provisional admission into the residence. So your residence letter will have exactly what you need to bring on your first day.
Thank you. So, Kanisa, we would like to, or the learners would like to know, what support services are available for students in residences? Or maybe Sandiswa can also answer this question.
Okay, so this is not just for students in residences, but also us commuter students that travel in. So we do have the Center for Student Development and Counseling that is part of Student Affairs. So you do have access to our psychologist where you can go for student support. But also within the resident system, we have mentors and house committee members that assist you with moving in and settling in. And obviously we also have someone like myself who is a resident head that ensure that you are supported in the residence.
Thank you. So Kanisa, once I am accepted into residence for my first year, am I automatically allocated to the same residence till I finish my degree?
All right. So once you have been admitted into a residence, or rather placed in res, you are required, or rather each and every student is required to reapply each and every year to be reallocated for the following year. So we do have a minimum residence credit requirement in which we expect you to achieve, provided that you do meet this requirement and you have applied on time. Like I've emphasized, late applications are not considered, and you have applied on time, you will definitely be able to secure a spot for the following year. This procedure is expected to be done up until you have studied for the duration of your degree.
Thank you. Are there any halal catering residences at Stellenbosch University?
Yes, there are halal catering residences at Stellenbosch University. We don't have quite a lot of them. However, I can guarantee you that within each and every cluster, there is at least one halal catering residence.
You may, yes.
Thank you. So also for residences such as mine that do not cater to halal students, there is an option where you can select halal, and we do get meals from other residences that they do bring that are packaged properly so that our halal eating students can enjoy those meals as well.
Thank you, Cindy. Our final question I'd also like to give over to Cindy. What if I don't get residence space? Will I still be able to play residence rugby league?
That's a very important question. Yes, you will be. So you are grouped in clusters, which is also sort of like mini communities where you are able to play sports. But we also have something that we call cluster sports, which students enjoy so much. It's very competitive. So you will still be able to play rugby league in the cluster space.
Thank you. So that wraps up all our questions. I'd like to ask our colleagues if they have any final words for our future Marties. Cindy Swap?
From my side, we are very excited for you to join us. We are preparing in terms of the application cycle, but also in the residence spaces. We have students and staff members that are so excited to meet you. I'm wishing you all of the best as you prepare for your final exams, whether it's now in June or in end of the year. But we are very excited for you to join us.
Kanisa?
I won't say much. I do wish you all the best with your final exams as well. Work hard. You know, whatever the outcome is will determine your future. So put in all the work. If it does not happen, it's not the end of the world. And also do bear in mind, even with residence placement, space is very limited. So it is bound to happen that some people will not get into residence, but it's okay. All the best. We cannot wait to welcome you, and yeah.
Thank you. So from all of us, have a good afternoon. Good luck with the exams, as Cindy and Kanisa has said, and we can't wait to meet all of you next year. Thank you.